We turn now to Saudi Arabia, where peace talks on Ukraine are underway in the city of Jeddah this weekend. Delegates from around 40 nations, including Ukraine, the United States, European countries, China, India, and Brazil, are present. Russia was not invited but claimed it will monitor the proceedings. The talks came as Ukraine seeks increasing support for its peace formula from developing countries, many of which have remained publicly neutral. Ukrainian President Zelensky expressed his hope that the initiative could also pave the way for a global peace summit this fall, where Russia once again will be excluded. Serving as the host this time, Saudi Arabia has previously mediated Russia-Ukraine prisoner exchanges and is working to boost its diplomatic influence. China has sent Special Envoy for Eurasian Affairs Li Hui to the meeting. Russian President Vladimir Putin and leaders of the African Peace Initiative have released a joint statement on Ukraine following talks in St. Petersburg. Isabel Nakiria reports.
The joint statement released by the Kremlin and leaders of the African Peace Initiative claims there are strides being made to reunite Ukrainian children with their families. The meeting also concluded that progress was being made to release more prisoners of war as part of prisoner swaps between Russia and Ukraine. African leaders called for the removal of restrictions to Russian grain and fertilizer exports to ease the resumption of the Black Sea Grain Initiative. The joint statement also urges the United Nations to take steps to have 200,000 tons of Russian fertilizer blocked in European Union ports released and shipped to African countries. Russia and the leaders with the African Peace Initiative also pledged to continue talks to pave way to peace. President Putin has said Russia is open to peace talks with Ukraine, but that a ceasefire is not possible while Kiev's troops are on the offensive. Isabel Nakiria, CGTN, Moscow.
I want to get you more analysis on this story. I'm now joined by Professor Alexandr Domrин in Moscow, visiting professor at the China University of Political Science and Law. Professor, welcome to our program. Let me get your thoughts first on this joint statement released by the Kremlin and African leaders yesterday. What are the major takeaways for you?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm delighted to be on your wonderful TV channel. Listen, it's very difficult to speak about the end of the military operation between Russia and Ukraine when, like it happens right now in Jeddah, Russia is excluded from that meeting. So the statement is just a statement. It's correct. It's absolutely wonderful. Otherwise, Russia would never sign that statement. But again, you know, this dance, this European dance, tango, it takes two to tango. Of course, there are some wonderful dances like shake, like twist, like break dance, when it's enough to be alone to dance. But it takes two to tango, and you cannot dance tango when Russia is not a part of the dance. So basically, this is the main point that I can share with you. The statement is fine. Once again, otherwise Russia would have never signed that statement. But again, you need to bring Ukraine to the dance. And Ukraine at this moment doesn't want to play this game and doesn't want to dance this tango dance.
I see your point, Professor, and I think it's also clear that negotiators in Jeddah this time will have a hard time reaching any consensus of any sort regarding a peace settlement for the Ukraine crisis. What do you think will be the major objectives for this gathering in Jeddah?
We observe what's going on in Jeddah right now. It's very interesting for me. It's very interesting for everybody who is interested in the end of this so-called special military operation. You see, we in Russia, we don't even call it war. We call it специальная военная операция, special military operation. And this is a very strange war. Imagine the situation when the United States of America, back in 2003, would invade Iraq and then stop. But that's exactly what happened last year when, yes, indeed, the Russian Federation initiated this special military operation and then stopped. And we have this very strange war. And we don't know, we in Russia, we don't know what shall be the end and the goals of this operation. What was proclaimed on the 24th of February last year, 2022, is denazification of Ukraine and demilitarization of Ukraine. But where exactly should it happen? We don't even know the borders where this special military operation should end. Should it be on the borders of the former Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union fell apart back in 1991? Or shall we, Russia, and I'm Russian, I'm ethnic Russian and I'm a Russian citizen, or shall we end this war on the borders between Ukraine and Poland? We are still waiting for a rational answer. I don't know it at this moment because nobody knows it.
I don't think anybody knows better than you, Professor, at this point. We appreciate your time and your analysis, Professor. I'm running short on time. I'll just leave you there. But thank you so much again for joining me on Asia Today.